All right, I think we're back with I was gonna say the Tuesday show.
It's been that long.
I'm so used to it. Yeah.
When have we done the Monday show?
I know, not often enough. We've really been lax on that this year. No, welcome to Level 3 Focus. We are talking about Ultra Street Fighter 4 and the changes, the game engine, kind of game-wide changes, and how they seem to be impacting gameplay so far. So we talked about Red Focus. Now, I didn't talk about everything that I intended to talk about because I brought up one of the theories people have about how they'll use it. Another thing is, this Focus, Kara, Red Focus thing, this like armor cancel thing that, I don't know, it doesn't seem like it's that great. You can do it apparently, but like you can't dash with the same timing that I had kind of thought maybe you could to get out of it. It works, but it's like, I don't know. I don't know how useful it'll be. But yeah, it's definitely fun to think about stuff like that and what we could do, and that's all we can do right now because we don't have the game yet. It's only in Japan. Let's move on now to delayed wake-up videos. We'll get there in just a bit. Obviously, delayed wake-up, it hurts kind of set play setups. So if your character depends on always getting a knockdown into the same situation and capitalizing on that same situation in the same way, then you're going to have to change things up in Ultra, and that's the design. Maybe the other game engine change to talk about is the fact that they've tried to take out as many unblockables as they can. Reports are that they're gone. I don't know, maybe we'll find some, but those are the reports. And even on top of that, delayed wake up is in there. So if your character has an unblockable on normal hard knockdown, now delayed wake up can change things up, and maybe you have a new setup to deal with delayed wake up, but it's a mix up, right? And as I described at the start, as the character being knocked down, you can't fall and then think about doing delayed wake up. It's just something you got to do right at the start. So it's a mix up that you force on the opponent, but that the opponent can kind of play on you as well. And so it changes a lot of things. It changes safe jump setups. It forces people to get new safe jump setups against delayed wake up. It might even make some soft knockdowns preferable over hard knockdowns. Things like that. So let's jump into the old thing there. Which one did I have first? Oh yeah, Mago Fei versus Kazunoko, Rolento, and Seth. Let's jump like halfway through this video. That's cool. It's something like that. A little bit. Whatever. This is fine. It's cool. Oh, actually, okay, let's go back. Oh. Well, whatever. So the reason that I want to put Seth on screen is, well, a couple of reasons. And I guess I'll talk about the next thing as well. Dragon Punch fadc toward being -5 on block. Seth is actually not safe even in AE 2012. It's like, I think, -3. So most characters can punish it. It's just fast enough that it normally doesn't happen. But now that it's -5, it's a little easier to do so. And for Fei, it's the same way. Dragon Punch fadc toward is unsafe. So a couple of Seth's major things are, require overhauls. He no longer gets guaranteed crap after SPD, right? SPD, dash ward, ambiguous jump, cross up or not. That kind of stuff is gone. That kind of stuff should be gone. And it's probably just, kind of a relic of the past that Kazunoko still does Dragon Punch fadc toward, and that Mago doesn't punish it when he blocks it. That kind of thing will get solved. Oh, so sick. Using that EX. But you'll see, you see kind of how Seth has to play, the different way he has to play. Even aside from his nerfs, which are, quite a few and substantial. He has to play differently because his normal mix-up game is not there anymore. It's no longer the kind of stupid Dragon Punch fadc, wait for the block, blah, 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 option select on block, or SPD. Everybody hated that. And he can't really do it anymore. So he has to play this weird zoning game as a character who really isn't a zoner. So he's probably not going to be that great. But we'll see. Yeah, I know. James is mad about that. Yeah, props to Kazunoko because he's still doing mix-ups. Yeah, wait. So here, you see that delayed wake up? Oh, he has the setup for it though. He waited for it. Yep. Let's move backwards in time. So here's a pile driver coming up at some point. Well, a little bit longer. Yeah, there it is. Now look for the technical on Mago's side. That means that it was the delayed wake up, which means Kazunoko played the little mix-up game correctly. Nice, and he gets the kill. He understood that it's just a mix-up now, and there's a mix-up on top of the mix-up, basically. Because as the person who's playing offense, now you have to guess whether the opponent's going to do delayed wake-up or not. And again, you can't wait to see for most setups. For setups like this, you can't. But some people are already figuring it out, as Kazunoko just did, that you can still play around it anyway. So it's not the case that mix-ups are gone. It's just that that kind of mix-up, the ones that involve coming from the air without really being able to change your jump arc that well, those are gone, it seems. The other crappy thing for Seth is that you can no longer combo or cancel from normals into tandem, which is weird. Yeah, it's super bizarre. You see, again, there was the technical. This time, yeah, okay, so that's the reason that I kept it playing. Because watch after Mago gets pile driver. He actually does technical again, but watch where Seth ends up. He already landed. So he guessed that this time there was not going to be a delayed wake up. And he guessed wrong. And he still got something out of it. So again, it's not the case that mix-ups are totally dead. It's just that as the person mixing up, you have to change what your mix-ups are a little bit, and you have to be willing to, and able to, adapt afterward pretty quickly. Yeah, the words on this thing are like the best.
I like condor, 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 condor.
Yeah, kanduru. Alright, that's enough of this video.
Back to the game.
Yeah, okay. Let's move on now to, I think, the Sakura video?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Now, I mentioned briefly before that there might be situations where soft knockdowns are preferable over hard knockdowns. Think about what soft knockdowns give you. They give you two, in many cases, legit chances to mix up. That's something that Cammy does, right? She does a jump with a timing such that it'll be all ambiguous and stuff if you don't do, if you do a quick get up. But if you don't, then she has the secondary right afterward. So it's something that has already been in games. You can just play it whenever. I don't know. I'll just ramble on top of it. Yeah. So there's kind of already precedent for that, but it was definitely a better thing in AE 2012 to have hard knockdowns. In fact, that's one of the cool things about, for example, Hakan. All of his things end up in hard knockdowns. All of his knockdowns are, in fact, hard knockdowns. It doesn't even have any soft ones. And I thought that was a big benefit to him because it meant that every time you got a knockdown, you could be exactly sure about where your opponent would be. In AE 2012, Sakura has this famous, big old crap into EX Tatsu into Sakura Otoshi for the hard knockdown and then setup and blah, blah, blah. And Juso, who's playing here, is Juso Sakura, is definitely one of the guys who's done that a lot. It's something we've seen him do for quite some time. But he's already kind of figured out how this game plays. And he had a chance to get it in the first round here, but he didn't. And I think it actually comes up in the second round, but it's cool. We'll let it play. And what I'm talking about is he doesn't go for the hard knockdown. Because he kind of figured it out that he doesn't. He wants to put himself into the best situation, of course. And it seems like in this game that might not be hard knockdowns. By the way, I'm not terribly impressed by Rolento. I gotta be honest.
He doesn't look very good so far.
I don't think he looks very good either. Today I saw videos from Nemo playing him, and he looked better.
Okay.
But I don't know how long term his stuff is. I feel like right now he depends on the weirdness of his movement, but I don't know how long that's gonna seem weird. All right, come on. Aha! EX. Oh! Stand jab. He'd rather have reset.
Yeah.
Right? He wants he gets the corner still. He can play side to side games off of that. He gets right into counter hit setups. all sorts of tricky stuff, and he's certain where the opponent will end up. That's the number one thing. He knows exactly where they'll be. And I wouldn't be surprised in the future to see like variation on that, where it ends in Dragon Punch, or something like that, so that it's a true soft knockdown rather than just a reset. But here's a character who has the option to combo into hard knockdown, and in Ultra, it seems like maybe the better option is not to do that.
But you remember in Cross Tekken, we spent so much time hoping we could find standing reset combos so to prevent them from rolling.
Right.
And they all work in this game if you get a free juggle.
Sure.
So.
Yeah. And I imagine that the same kind of thing will happen for other characters. There are not that many characters who get to choose whether to end up in hard knockdown or soft knockdown, but there are definitely some. Oni's one of them. He can do Stomp or he can do Hurricane Kick, for example. So there are situations like that where, as the person comboing, you can decide how you end up. And I figure that it'll probably be a pretty popular choice to end up as Juso did, with either reset or soft knockdown. Okay, let's move on. Let's go to Ibuki. Yeah. Now, it's fine, you can just play. I mentioned that that delayed knockdown can suck if you can't change your jump arc that much. But some characters can do it very well. Ibuki's one of them. So we've already seen what I wanted to talk about. So let's back up a little bit. I forgot it was so early. Wow. Ibuki can do jump short or kunai, okay, in this situation. So notice that when he gets a knockdown after neckbreaker, this player always jumps with the same timing, and then he looks to see whether the technical pops up on the screen. Okay, it didn't, so he did jump short. This time it did, so he did kunai. And that might seem like it's tough to do, like it's tough to react to, and I imagine it is. But this player nevertheless does it pretty consistently. Technical, so kunai. Okay, it's just a little mixed up anyway. So whatever. But right, isn't that an interesting kind of gaming of the system? And interestingly, as Ibuki, it seems like that 11-frame window is like the exact window that she needs to set up tricky unblockable, or I don't know about unblockable, but tricky kunai. And I know you told me that jump short is usually a cross up.
Well, I don't know.
Okay, well maybe it was somebody else, but somebody told me that that's usually a cross up. But well, like nobody blocks it. Everybody gets hit by it, and I don't know what they're trying to do, or whether they're just blocking wrong or what. But everybody seems to be getting hit by that, so I'm not sure if it is an unblockable or what. It's supposed to be gone.
I was saying that if it is always a cross up, then I would just always do the quick rise and just block it, right?
Sure,
so.
And actually can be blocked in that situation.
Yeah.
Okay, there's red focus and blah blah. It obviously gets blown up because it's not very useful, I don't think. But Ibuki can do this. Presumably, like Viper probably could with Burn Kick. Maybe Akuma can with Air Fireball. I wonder if even Seth can with by delaying Dive Kick or something like that. Maybe Evil Ryu can. That kind of stuff. Those are all things to be tested out, but I think it's a really interesting way to deal with the fact that delayed wake up exists. People are always looking for those little edges to try to make situations as best as possible for themselves, and this Ibuki player has a really cute way to do it. So, I guess that's it for delayed knockdown. Or sorry, delayed wake up. Yeah. So it means no more free safe jumps in most situations. It doesn't mean the end of mix-ups, it just means different mix-ups. So for example, when Kazunoko Seth had that cross-up where he guessed wrong and where he landed too early, it's not like that blew up his pressure. He's still there. And having Seth right in your face is still threatening. And if you're a grappler who did splash but you mistimed it and you landed too early, I mean, you're still a grappler in the opponent's face. If you are a counter hit setup character, and same thing. The only problem is that the opponent can do wake up Dragon Punch, right? Whereas if Mago had done wake up Dragon Punch through previous setups in previous games, he either whiffs or his Dragon Punch gets beaten by the jump roundhouse. Now, if he guesses right on the delayed wake up mix up, and then guesses right on whether to Dragon Punch out, then he can get out of the situation. So he gets a little bit more defensive options. But in the next segment, we will look at Dragon Punch FADC being at -5, and we'll see a little bit of how that can be a negative too. So take a break.